Hello and welcome to the latest CraftySniper's blog video. Right, today's blog video. I set out, as of this video being recorded, 2 weeks ago to take part in TacEval 4. I forgot the number then for a minute. TacEval 4, Lincolnshire Airsoft Club's idea of a 24-hour milsim event. Now, I was tasked with doing 2 written pieces. One of them from the idea of what is TacEval, to explain to people that don't know what TacEval is, what it is, and what's involved. This one I was going to do from my perspective as a player. Now, for anyone that's known recently, anywhere in Northern Europe and the UK has been suffering from 30 odd degrees of heat, which is just unbearable. I've been at work last week and it was just freaking nasty. So that's what's delayed my doing a written piece on the second part of this review. Now, the temperature has cooled down, and I have thought to myself, right, okay, knuckle down, Crafty, get on the computer, come out with another piece. I thought, now, you know something, I haven't done a blog video for a while. So here I am, I'm going to do a blog video, and it's going to be my perspective on TacEval 4. Right. For those that don't know, briefly, TacEval 4, like I say, 24-hour airsoft event. It is probably the jewel in Lincolnshire Airsoft Club's inventory of matched types. There's been quite a few of them, 4 of them, to be precise. And there's also a series that was running not so long back, the TacEval series, which is a different kettle of fish. But the key similarities between the two is that they are serious. They are uber serious. But the 24-hour airsoft event is this year was held at Moor in Melton Mowbray, and I think I've featured Melton Mowbray quite a few times. Moor, I should say, not Melton Mowbray, but I've featured their airsoft site quite a few times. Massive 50+ acre site, woodland site, hills, buildings. It's awesome, absolutely fantastic, great site. There were teams of, I think it was 10 teams of up to 4 players per team going out into the vastness of the wilderness, and they had to survive for 24 hours. They had limitations. They had a kit list that they could not have any extra on top of this kit list, and more importantly, they had a limitation of BBs, of ammunition, which makes them think. And, you know, it's not one of those normal airsoft matches where you just rock up with a high cap and go out there and slot lots of people. No, that's not how TacEval works. TacEval is the thinking man's airsoft version. So, the teams go out, they can set their own bases up, they've got to survive, fight, drink, eat, sleep if they can. Yes, toilets. I'm not going to let how that happens, but yes, you are out there in the wilderness even. And they've got to fight over objectives, little trinkets of bits and pieces, ranging from Tupperware bottles. Well, they were all held in Tupperware boxes actually, but there was packets of soup, there was sweets, there was bottles of ammunition, small amounts of ammunition, there was all sorts of things, and basically they had to collect these items. They'll be dropped off throughout the match. They're not all out on the first part of the match. And the team at the end of the 24 hours who has the most stuff, most items, and they haven't eaten them, you obviously can eat the soup, drink the soup even, you can shoot the BBs, you certainly can't eat them, but if you return them as they were put out there, so in their bottle, secured BBs inside them, and if it was the sweets, if they're still in the Tupperware box, you get maximum points for that item, and whoever gets most points wins. Quite simple. However, there was a wild card. In fact, technically there was 3 wild cards. Myself and 2 other young guys were going to be snipers. I'm trying to think what the actual role was, what our title was. I can't remember what it was. Don't think I can pronounce it because it was quite rude. But basically, all we had to do was go out there, hunt the enemies. We give them something else to shoot at, something where they've got to think, can they shoot us and kill us without using as much ammunition, because they're on limited ammunition. By the way, we're not. So we can go out with much ammunition as we want. obviously some of you guys will think, probably, oh, that's a bit cheating really, you've gone out with more ammunition than the enemy have. Well, yeah, it does when you think of it that way. However, think of it this way. I had an SRS sniper rifle with 3 magazines. I had a Mark 23, 3 magazines. I think technically I took 2 magazines out with that one. That's it. I have no AEG. I have no full auto capability. So, you know, I'm on my own. Just because I had 2 other guys with me, very rarely do I actually work with them. I work better on my own. There's nothing wrong with those guys. They're brilliant, lovely, friendly guys. But I do work better on my own. So I'm the one who's getting penalised for being on my Todd. And we would basically make them fight if they want to fight. If they shoot us, we present them with a card. And they go to us and say, have you got a card? Yes, I have. I present this card. And this card equals points or deduction of points. So you don't know, as the shooter, you don't know when you shoot me what card I've got. I didn't even know what card I had. I just picked it out at random. And they come up to you and go, oh, it's brilliant, yeah, okay, well, we used a good few rounds on trying to shoot this guy. Well, we're going to get some points back now because we get that card. Wrong, you actually lost some. You've lost big style. So it makes people think. So this is my take on TacEval 4, what I had to do. Like I say, I went out as a reconnaissance player. I went out with the main aim to obviously shoot the people that are out there. That's the key primary objective. However, I also went out there with the objective of actually learning the trade, as I like to call it. I like reconnaissance style play. I like being a sniper, a recon person. It's not all about those amazing 80-meter kill shots. And if you want to lie, it's not about those amazing 115-meter kill shots. Same thing. To me it isn't, anyway. That's the conclusion of my hunt, when I'm able to put someone in the crosshair at 80 odd meters and dunk, one shot, bang, smack, hit, thank you very much. What I am not able to do at Combat Zone, and it's not a negative really, I'm not knocking Combat Zone, it's because it's a smaller, that's my local site by the way, it's a smaller site, it's guaranteed action. There isn't very much hunting because I start in a position where the enemy usually are only a few hundred meters away from me, so there isn't that much hunting. However, now I'm on a 50 odd acre site with players out there and I can learn how to hunt people. I can go out there and just learn the trade of moving, gathering my intelligence, or learning what's out there, situational awareness, something a sniper really does need, and learning the site. It's not a local site to me, I've been there 3 or 4 times now, but it's a site that I'm fairly, I don't feel like I really know the place well, but I know it well enough. And I know some of the little do's and do not do's if I want to be seen or if I want to cover terrain quickly. So I went out there, like I said, just trying to learn those, relearn those traits, because if I'm honest, the last time I used those traits, we was back at the old Curtain site, the old Curtain 2 site, which is a few hundred acre woodland site. A lot of similarities between Curtain 2, as we called it, and the Moor site. That's why I feel, and I said this in a Zoidwolf video, weirdly enough, I feel that Moor is like a spiritual home, almost, for Lincolnshire, well, AC players that remember the good old days of playing at Curtain. It's a woodland site, lots of terrain to hide in. The plus side on the Moor is the fact that they've got buildings to fight over. I think it's brilliant, absolutely awesome. They've got massive open areas. Basically, the Moor was an ammunition testing site, so they've got massive open areas. But now it's an airsoft site. It's a fantastic area for snipers to sit and just wait for people. So yeah, that's what I went out with. The idea, my second objective was basically just to relearn stuff, and it just reminds me how much I like the reconnaissance style of play, because it was fantastic. I had the ability to work on my own, not having to worry about anyone else. I am looking out for numero uno, me. I have to move, I have to maneuver myself around this site in a way that hopefully the enemy is not going to see. I want to get set up into a shooting position, a firing position, without the enemy ever knowing that I was there in the first place. The only time the enemy know that a sniper is in the area is when the shot comes out and that person's dead. That's pretty much how snipers work. So I was reteaching myself how to move in a wood on terrain that is quite difficult. A lot of hilly terrain, but it's not just the hills that knack you out, it's also the fact of there's dead twigs, dead branches all over the floor. And that means if I step on them, I make noise. And if I make noise, I'm giving my position away. I want the enemy to do that. And they did. I don't want to do that, because if I stumble onto the enemy and they are still in an active patrol position and they have the ability to pull their weapons up and just lace me, I've got no hope. I've got no full auto capability. I've got no ability to... I can run a little bit if I have to, but chances are I'm going to die. So I was teaching myself this, and on the Saturday I was teaching myself this in the deepest, darkest, thickest woods you could possibly imagine. It had been raining for a few weeks beforehand, so the terrain had grown from what I've known. It's summertime now in England, so all the foliage, all the grass, all the branches of the trees and everything, the bushes, they've all gone really, really high, which makes it really, really difficult for me to get through. Also equally difficult for any human being to get through. So I would go out on a Saturday and just hunt teams down. I don't know where they are. Haven't got a clue where they are. I can remember I remember this little bit now. I'm moving very, very slowly. I move a bit, go down, listen. Don't move. Get up, move a bit, go down, listen. That's generally how I move if I'm in an area that I'm not sure whether the enemy are anywhere nearby. I heard a sound. I got this. There was an area. I remember it was a really, really bad bush I'd gone through with thorns on it and all sorts. It was like Satan's bush, which sounds incredibly wrong. And I'd gone through it, knowing full well that nobody else would go through it. So that means I'm pretty much on my own. And I got into this area. There's this wonderful clearing, like a circular clearing, trees above it, and it was dead twigs and branches on the floor. Been there for a long, long time. And I just cleared this bush, and I heard something. It was a twig snapping or something. I don't know. I can't remember. It's just something in my left ear just went boink. Crap! Someone's nearby. Right. Okay, not a problem. Lowered myself down, laid out with this terrain sat behind me that I'd just gone through, knowing full well that nobody else would go through it, and even if they did, they wouldn't see me before I saw them, or at least heard them. And I thought, right, if there is someone on my left, I'm probably not going to get a sniper shot off on them, so I'm going to pull the 23 out. So I pull the 23 slowly out of the holster, just sat there. Remember, great thing for people that are not snipers. If you move quickly, pulling a pistol out of a holster, or moving your head like this, it gives you position away to snipers. Just remember that. So I've learned that. So slow movements, pulling out this pistol, lowered myself down, blade down. I'm listening. Listen to what's going on around me. Can I hear the wind? I can hear a few things. I'm listening for a twig snapping again. Something that confirms to my little ears that there is someone to my left. My rifle, my SOS, was at my side. Like I say, I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to need that. 23, cock the hammer, ready to go. And all of a sudden, from my left, and I still, to this day, don't know what it was. I can take a guess. It was either a rabbit or a hare. But I don't know what it was, because it was doing 98 miles an hour, straight across my left to right, ran straight across this terrain that I'm on the edge of, disappears off straight into the next bush, and I'm sat there like this, and it just went straight. What the holy hell was that? I was expecting a coyote to be chasing it, for crying out loud. I damn near babbled myself, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Should have really been, because I'm in the middle of nature. But I've gone from being uber quiet, getting it all heighted up, ready to go for that kill shot. I want that shot. First shot, first kill. To a rabbit stroke hare going straight across me at 98 miles an hour, going, oh, that's brilliant, that's marvellous, okay, calm down, it's all done. And then all of a sudden it suddenly dawns on me, what made that hare move? Or rabbit, or whatever the holy heck it was. Oh crap, there still could be a person there. So I remember I was laid there in this position, next to this very sharp bush, for about 35 minutes, listening for somebody I thought was possibly out there, and there wasn't anyone. And if there was anyone, they disappeared off somewhere else. I never heard a thing since. So I was like, okay, that's it, 23 away, carry on walking, let's get this gun. It made me smile that, you know, that something so silly like that had just happened. Anyway, I move on. I don't know how much terrain I covered. I didn't cover too much because I was slow. You know, I don't want to stumble into anyone. And I remember getting to an area between some bushes and trees, like the walkways. Could have been walkways, I'm not sure, but they were like natural clearings between terrain. And in front of me was this hill, a very long hill, trees on it, couldn't see the top of it. I knew it was a hill because the train went up, because I'm clever. And I remember just slowly sneaking, I thought, Christ, I don't want to be here. I'm in sunlight. It may sound stupid, but one of the things that gives away something to a human eye is sight. And sunlight reflecting off something on me, and I don't have too much that reflects on me, I'm not that bright, still something's going to reflect, and that's going to give my position away when it didn't really need to. So I thought, right, I'm going to circle around this terrain, keep an eye on the hill, get into the next load of darkened terrain, shadows and all that kind of stuff, and then I'll be alright. And just as I was getting into position to walk through this little teeny walkway, and like I say, at the side of this hill, I heard voices. And there was a team on the hill. There was somebody on the hill. I dropped down immediately. I'm in long grass. You'd have had to step on me really to find me if you was looking across, because I was lower than the grass. I'm scanning this hill, religiously scanning it for anything. I mean, it was really dense foliage all the way up this hill. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear voices. I thought, right, okay, not a problem. So I backed off. I reversed myself on my chest, reversing myself into this terrain, so I want to get out of the way of this sun. And I thought, right, okay, I got into this terrain. It's another clearing with some bushes and whatnot, and it allows me to move. And I thought, right, if there's sound up that hill, I want to go around and try and hit them from the other side, or at least find out what is up there. As I went through, I approached this barrier, this structure. Obviously, the Moor puts up various shield-like structures. I'm approaching it, and it was at that point that I noticed there was a player, no more than 30 metres away from me. There was another structure, another row of shields, wooden structure kind of thing, like a little mini wall, about leg height for me. And he's on the other side of that one. And I don't know whether he was tail end Charlie, I don't know what he was doing, but he was on his Todd. And he was fairly low down. It was obviously there was a little bit of an indentation in the ground, but that's why he was lower to me. So I got down and snuck up to the hill. I snuck up to my shield, and I'm got 23 out, and I'm just poking it through looking through. And I thought, if he stands up, he's going to get a shot. It was at that point that I realised if I look a little bit further, I can see the other members of his team. Remember, the 4 teams, the 4-man teams, and I'm looking at probably tail end Charlie here. And yeah, I had to shoot him, knowing full well that his team members will come in and try and kill me anyway. What happened was we had this brilliant duel, this Mark 23 versus Mark 23 duel, 0.4 plus rounds firing to and from these shields. Neither one of us were in a very good position, if I'm perfectly honest, because we're shooting through the cracks in the shields, basically. And it's just an absolutely epic firefight. I think I went through 1 mag, I remember switching to my 2nd mag, and he's busy firing, and these are heavy rounds, we can tell when they're hitting the wood, they're definitely, like I say, plus 0.4 rounds. I mean, I was firing 0.43s, so I'm guessing he'd probably be firing the same. And we're busy shooting, and eventually he gets that lucky shot, doink, straight through, smacked me on the top of my head. Yep, cheers, well done. Gives him a card, and that was it. I walked back, I was dead. But it was at that point that I realised I'd done something and actually made him chuck a lot more ammunition than I'd chucked out. And I don't have any limitation in ammunition. He does. And that's going to hurt him later on. And I thought, okay, I was probably going to die anyway at that point. Like I say, I'm outnumbered. But it was nice to know that I'd made this guy shoot out a lot of his ammunition. Don't know how many mags he went through, but he did go through quite a few. Or it seemed that. And that's what kind of made me happy. So I went back, talking to Ian, the club boss, and yeah, you go out again and do this, and that to me is what TacEval was. It's a hunting game for me. I remember on the Sunday, this was brilliant actually, there was actually a massive, where an old building had been at some point, and they'd broken it down, there's just the remains of the bricks and whatnot. And I was sat on this pile, a little indentation in it, I'm sat there overwatching an area. I know there's objectives out in front of me, so the enemy are going to come and get them eventually. And I'm watching players, and it's brilliant. I didn't always shoot them, because I wanted to know if they could see me. And there was one guy, he walks out, he's quite a long way in front of me, quite a long way. His back's to me, he has no idea I'm watching him. And I set up a position where the rifle is resting off my knee, and I'm just aiming through there, I'm looking through the scope, and I'm just following him with the scope. And I thought, at this range, I need him to stop, stand still long enough, thunk, right, round will go out. If he didn't stand, he would have been fine. However, he did stand still, just to have a look at what was in front of him. And the shot came in from behind. Dunk, round, shot. Somewhere in the lower back area, bang, that's that person gone. I smiled so much, you know, because I was able to do this. I was able to get into a firing position without anyone knowing. I was able to have players walk around me without them ever knowing I was there. And I managed to shoot this person. He took his hit, obviously, and he never knew where the shot came from. I never moved a muscle. Once I pulled the trigger, I never even reloaded for a second shot. I was quite confident I was going to get this guy. I know what my SOS is like. So just one shot, dunk, and I thought, I'm not moving. I am not moving. You can't shoot me from there. So I'm fairly safe. And that was it. Dunk, smack, hit. Thank you very much. So I hope in this blog video, that I've kind of given you guys a bit of an insight into TacEval. Like I say, the written post I did, the written review I did, which is a few pages below now on my Facebook page, read that. If you're interested in TacEval, read that, because that is more a case of what TacEval is. It's not from my perspective as an active player or an LAC member or anything like that. It's just my observations of TacEval, specifically TacEval 4, but also the TacEvals I've played a part in throughout the years. It is not for the faint-of-hearted. It really isn't, because you may think, oh, it's brilliant, 24 hours of airsoft, woohoo, let's go hack it. It's not like that. It isn't. It's, like I say, it's a thinking person's version of airsoft, which is quite strange how I've managed to get onto it. If you have any questions or comments about TacEval, please bang them over to me. Ask me on YouTube, ask me on Facebook, whatever it is, PM me them. I'll quite happily digress some information on TacEval. I don't know when the next one is, however I do know it's going to happen. There is a TacEval 5 in the works. It will not be this year, it's a one-a-year event. It's going to be, obviously, next year. What I will say, and I'm not certain that it's, and I'm not 100% this is going to happen, but it's not going to be at a site that LAC have ever been to. I'll leave that with you. It's not going to be the Moor, it's not going to be Combat Zone, anything silly like that. It's just going to be another site. So until information gets released to the LAC members, we'll just leave it at that, because I know a few bits of information, a few snippets of information. Hopefully while I've been doing this video, I've also been posting some of the photos I took with my phone from the event, so it gives you guys an idea of what the site actually, what the Moor actually looks like. And yeah, it's a brilliant site. If you ever get a chance to go there and play on a normal day, have at it. It's a fantastic site, great guys that run it. Great set of players there. Never had an issue with the place. So if you like woodland sites, hunting sites, Moor's the way to go. So yes, I hope you've liked this video. Stay safe, and I will see you guys through an airsoft sniper scope very, very soon.